Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. And welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I hope everyone's having a good day. I see already Step Zero has claimed the crown of Firstendom. Congratulations. You have been first. But anyway, welcome back to Let Us Play. Today we're going to be doing some more Power Rangers Power Hour, having some fun with the movie. Power Rangers, the movie, the game. It's a mouthful. But you know what? It's fun. Now, I am playing this on a shmemulator. I have a physical cartridge, but the thing is, this game does not have continues. So if this goes beyond today, I want to be able to actually finish it. So let's go ahead and dive in. The crown of Fustendom is less painful than the crown of martyrdom. This is true, but its rewards are less great. The book, the movie, the legend. Get some classic 90s squealy squee guitar. There we go. Oh, this game. Okay, so we can now be Tommy. We couldn't be Tommy in the last game. We got Rocky, we got Kimberly, we got Billy, and we got Aisha and Adam. Yeah, that's right. They changed up the lineup for the movies. It's another beat 'em up, but you can see we can already change zones. Ow, that was stupid of me. To think this used to be cutting-edge graphics. I don't know if this used to be cutting-edge graphics. Why are you driving on the sidewalk, you maniac? Also, this game was not originally a Power Rangers game. Halfway through development, they somehow got the license. They were like, quick, just slap it into this other game we've developed. So there's no Zord level. There's a hidden boss fight. Oh boy. Oh yeah, time for some totally radular transformations. So unlike the other game too, where you get to actually use your weapon, you only get the weapon when your power meter at the bottom is full. But you are twice as powerful when you're a ranger. I have a lot of fond memories of this game. Used to go and play it at a cousin's house a lot growing up. I love the dude's pompadour that was running away in the background there. You spawned on top of me. That shouldn't hurt. There are categories for morph, unmorphed, co-op, solo, and hard modes. Yeah, that sounds like all the different ways you can play this game. It does eventually make you morph, so I guess unmorphed is probably just up to that point. Yeah! I have the sword that's sentient. Because reasons. gonna uppercut my way across the mall here. Difference is that Morphless just uses the in-game mechanic morph. Yeah, that makes sense. Ow. I was reading chat. How dare you, fire? It saves you about 30 seconds to start out morphed. Okay, and there's a cheat code for that. I believe that just because, like, being morphed, you can take out the purple putties a little bit faster. I don't think I should be on the roof of a building that's on fire. That just seems unwise. Oh, we must get to the chopper! Except I think it's a blimp. 27 minutes and change world record. Okay, well, we're not gonna beat it at that speed. It's the easiest guessing game, because guess which one has the bright glowing face? I like he had to walk back onto the screen to do his death animation. Oh, that was silly. Let's be Rocky this time. Yes, that's how you drive a boat, right, chat? Perfectly cromulent way. Why does Lord Zed have an aircraft carrier? Have the U.S. have the world governments done nothing about this? I've driven a boat with 1 foot while standing on the seat, just so fall. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. But also good to see you, Gale. Hope you're doing well. Rocky, you know Kung Fu. I think a backhanded fist is not the most effective attack you can use. There are 4 versions of this game. None of them are ports of each other. Yeah? I mean, it was a movie tie-in in the 90s. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. But also Nintendo does what Nintendo don't because they released a Game Boy version. Genesis version has Zords. Yeah, the Genesis version is generally regarded as the best. But this is the one I grew up with, so this is the one I'm playing. Oh yeah, there's also a Game Gear one. Oh, I punched that putty. You gotta hit him right in the emblem. That's what destroys them. That is actually canonically how it works in the TV show. Nana Kit has redeemed a father joke. Well, here's a nice simple one. What does a bird's cell phone sound like? Wing wing. I'm gonna need that one up. I wonder. Okay, that does blow them up in the background. That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember. Hey kids, you got putties. Putty Patrol getting you down. Just cause a massive conflagration. You know, all the Rangers had weapons, but they never seemed to get much play in the show. Was it different in the original Super Sentai? Probably not, given that all the fight scenes are just the Super Sentai footage. What's funny is they actually each had two weapons, because they each had, like, their unique weapon, but then they all had this pistol that could also become a knife. Which I had forgotten about until I was... After last week, I decided to watch an episode. It's tough to go back and watch it. I did not realize, though, that The Rise of the Green Ranger was a 5-episode arc. I think it must have been a TV movie or something originally was the idea. You can never go back? Yeah, I mean, you can never go back, but like... I remember watching in college and it wasn't that bad. Ow! Bad cannon top. I know the fights were Sentai footage. I thought perhaps there were more fights in the Sentai episodes. No, I think because the Sentai episodes still had, like, the Rangers living their lives as, like... I mean, it was less morality of the week, because that was an American 90s thing, but... I disagree. I pressed the release button earlier. Get dunked on, Cannon Top. Did you drink in college, perhaps? I can neither confirm nor deny. No, that actually was mostly during my freshman year that it happened. I did not drink underage. Let's see how bad they did Billy. But I will say this: the episode I randomly chose to watch had Billy's flying car. Again with the head protecting thing when he's attacking. Oh, right, it's the snowboard level. That's right, Twitch chat. There's a snowboard level. So 90s. Oh, wait, it gets more 90s because they become surfboards as well. Yeet! You just learned how much older Super Sentai was? Yeah, like a lot. Like it started in the 70s. I would love to read what you were saying in chat, Step Zero, I really would, but this is not the level for it. Honestly, they did very well with the music in this game. Like, it's a bop. It captures the spirit. I jumped! I vehemently disagree. Yeah, the Japanese do know how to make a franchise live. I mean, the oldest anime is what, like... Or manga is like, what, 100 years old? Is it true that the biggest party school in Utah full of underage drinking is the one in Provo? Probably. I don't know, it's honestly that or the U. The U's the most, like... normal of the schools. Fish! Go away! Please, I'm just a normal kid. Don't bully me. Ow. I'm gonna bully you for bullying me. Excuse me? Fish? Bad fish. Where I hit that, buddy, but... Honestly, no, while more drinking goes on at BYU than they would admit, UVU has a much more lively party scene. See? I was right! Nope, I just want one of these! Thank you. I'm gonna have to use continue soon. Fortunately, I have several, but... Triceratops power against Skellerina. Ow. Okay, this fight's going great. Ow. Ow, get out of there. 1 hit point left. This is not great. Because if we die, we have to restart the whole level. Why did I jump there? Not my best. Fun fact, Ultraman, the first big costume hero in Japan, Sentai was another, was originally intended to have a Catholic themes. Oh yeah, the crap. Let's finish off the original cast. Yeah, the creator of Ultraman's Catholic. Oh yeah, Kimberly slaps everyone. Yeah, honestly, getting stuck in the boss's hitbox, maybe not the best move. Also, I love how these snowboards are basically just doors. Ow. Ow! Fun fact. Father Heaven's Other Talk's just that. I am not well known enough. This is going horribly, by the way. Thank you for turning into no! He goes fed kidneys. So rude. Nerds. How you know these kids are Californian? They go snowboarding and surfing in the same day. I hit the attack button. I vehemently disagree with what you have said, game. I did 2 pond skims on your snowboard last year. That's pretty sick. 1 up. That's even sicker. Okay, I need to really pay attention in this portion. Dang it! My momentum was really weird there. They're boardy. Yeah, Brayhard, your pastor is the one who quoted Warhammer 40k lore in a homily, so you really do belong to a nerd parish. Oh shoot! I pressed the button. Yeah, his priest said blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne in a homily, apparently. Skelerina has the zoomies. Oh shoot, get out there, get out there. Well, we're doing the level again. I hate this level. Milk for the cornflakes. You only get... Let's play as Adam. You only get 3 corn puns as a Warhammer 40k player. Once you make your 4th one, the blood letters come for you. Yeah, he's actually got a pretty sick anti-aerial. It was not the first or last nerd thing I have heard from him. Yeah, Father David's a nerd. Also, these... Unlike the other game, these Rangers have no down attack. Like when they jump. You know what? I'm just not interested in fighting a snowmobile today. You can just live over there. And phase through the fence? No! I could either attack the putty. Or I could jump. And either way, I was dead. Well, yeah, snowmobiles would just drive through a wooden fence, but it would break. Like, if I hit the fence, it actually, like, breaks open. Its sprite changes, but a snowmobile, nope, we're just gonna phase through it. How dare you try and phase through me? Evil Fish is apparently invulnerable to my hand. I swear I hit that fish. That's where the 1-up is, and I needed that. Hey, I'm beginning to think this game might be just a cheap tie-in and not the most, polished game out there. Just a thought. This game is being mean. It is! Get out of there, get out of there! Got out of there too late. I'm... I'm not very good at this game. You know who made this game?
Ah, the fish.
That's who. Go back to Tommy. Tommy has the best hitboxes of attacks, I think. So you have unlimited continues, it looks like? No. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You see at the bottom where it says credit 1? That's how many continues I have. Like, every time we get to the continue page, it says, this is how many credits. You start with 5, including the one you start with. Oh no. Oh no, indeed. I look away at chat. This level is awful. Why did I want to play this game? Oh, this level is uniquely awful. The next one is actually a lot of fun. It's like an abandoned trail yard. Do you want the codes to skip to the bosses? Oh, and where, pray tell, would I input those? See, the fence breaks. I have seen the codes. Please, enlighten me where there is a place to actually input codes. It's just like Fez, you need to turn and punch. But you don't punch in Fez. Like, you have no attack in Fez. You just rotate. That's health, but I don't really care, I think. Okay, I care a lot. But I need to stay up here to get that one up. That was close. Yeah, a lot of the times the websites will put the codes up there and it's for a different version. No! I missed the one up. The fish distracted me. I hate that fish because it jumps right over where you're trying to jump. Don't worry, Chad. If I can't beat this level, I have a plan. It's called another game, but I have a plan. Shoot. No. Ah. Screwed that up. Problem is you can only get like 3 hits in on Skellerina before she moves. I have a plan. It's not a very good one, but it's a plan. A cunning plan? Oh, you overestimate me. Nope. Continue. See, credit 1, credit 0. Because why would a game need limited continues? And now player 2 can't join. Hi, anti-aerial. Abaddon TV? Normal or hard? Normal, and I'm terrible at it. But welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. This is our 4th attempt on this level. Okay. I think that's all the jumps. So now we're at the caves. Am I a priest? I am. I've been a priest in the Roman Catholic Church for 5 years now. It's true, Twitch streaming is part of my job. I still don't understand that one. I don't question it, I just don't understand it. Uh-oh, Gale has redeemed a father joke. Me playing this level. No, kidding. Yeah! Player 2 not available! No, yeah, I'm out of credits. I made some poor choices there, not gonna lie. Yes. Okay, we got the 1-up. That's actually pretty big. So I think that's the only thing that's gonna get us to actually defeating Skellerina. Speak Brazilian? I don't know any Portuguese. Oh, well, this one I wanted to say for Brayherd, but I think it's good for you to, Step Zero. If I'm traveling at the speed of light, I don't think I have mass anymore. Wir können hier Portugiesisch nicht sprechen. Ah, ja, das ist Wahrheit. Hey, GameX. Doing well, except I am losing terribly at this level. Ow. I thought I got out of there in time. It's going poorly, but it's fun to watch poorly. Oh, good. Well, I think this might be the run. Because I still have 2 lives. I don't know what I'm going to do after that, though. So if we get a game over again. Can you quit having the zoomies, please? Thank you. Almost there. Yes! Get dunked! Okay, we only have 3 lives left to complete the rest of the game. And there are 3 more levels? 4 more levels? I don't even remember. Okay, we haven't played as Aisha yet. Today, a couple of teenagers caused massive property damage at the rail yard. Excuse me, I did the splits. That means you lose. Ow. I don't know how we both managed to hit each other at the same time, but... Excuse me? These hitbox distances are driving me mad. How did my foot overlap his sprite and do nothing? Nothing, I say. I literally, well, I went into the middle of his sprite. I don't know if I went into the middle of his hitbox. Ah, yes, the Orange Ranger. I jumped. How was I supposed to know he was doing that attack? I have 0 lives left. And this is just the mini-boss. I just mistimed my jump there. hate this game. No, I don't. I love this game, but oh, thank you, Set-Zero. Oh, you're too kind. While that's going on, I'm going to be setting up the next game. Going to be continuing in the theme, but there's only so much of that I can handle. There we go. Are you serious? Going from one sour to another. Okay, I'm going to do the rotata before I eat that, because if I do the candy first, I won't be able to do the rotata. But I need to change the game. It is better than the bacon candy, but it's still painful. Okay, so today's the martyrdom of John the Baptist. And it's a really cool feast because we see so much from, like, in scripture and in the liturgical life, the way that John is a forerunner for Jesus, that, you know, he has an annunciation, he has a canticle, he has his birth, he has his death. And so in this way, it is very much his death is a prefigurement for Christ's own death, but also, you know, a sign of the salvation that is to come with that. So, you know, that's why we celebrate him as that forerunner, and I really love his feast days because it calls to mind that image. So anyway, we're going to be switching to Battle for the Grid. So this is a more recent game. Hit a pretty good head on his shoulders. So this is a really cool fighter. Based on the Power Rangers, particularly the comic books. So you see, like, the Pink Ranger on the left there is in black instead of white. She's called a Ranger Killer in that timeline because she hunts other Rangers. But anyway, yeah, so we have the Barnett's Mega Sours. That one, because it was near the top. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, we're going to be doing the story mode. Oh. Oh.
Zordon is gone. The Rangers and their last stand have been crushed. You've taken the white light for yourself. This is a big day, Lord Draken. You've made me very proud.
Thank you, Empress.
And yet, for all that we have accomplished, you don't seem pleased.
I've had a lot on my mind.
Tell me, child, what troubles you?
Zordon chose children for a reason. Their hope. Their optimism. but also their naivete, their ability to be controlled. Eventually, though, every child realizes the truth, that their parents, for all their strengths, are incredibly flawed.
You knew it! You never saw me and a Power Ranger in the same room. Which Ranger am I?
Anyways,
All of them.
They hold us back. Eventually, every child realizes they must grow up.
Oh, dang!
Impossible.
You gave me these powers, Briss. It's only fitting they'd be your end. Rest now. Your time is done. I will continue what we have started.
So we're establishing Drakon is very evil. This is basically what happened. This universe is what happens if Tommy never becomes good. So what's the word, Jason? Are we going again, or are you calling it quits? If you've got the time. Ha! To beat you always. And here I thought this was light combat. Sword.
You know what they say, too much pink power is dangerous.
3, 2, 1, fight!
So this is actually a very simple fighting game. Like but it's got a really nice depth. Let me show you the move list. So, whoops, wrong button. So, starting on the left button and going around clockwise, you have light, medium, heavy, and then special. That's it. No other buttons. And then like most of your attacks are just occasional supers or specials. Like you can see here, like triple slice and cover fire low. But otherwise, it's basically just comboing your standard attacks in a good way. So it's very simple, but it's elegant. Let me check what my Titanus counter. Counter? Interesting. Yeah! Counter! Let's go! Transforming increases the physical prowess, but do we have a canon explanation on how strong the Rangers are? Yes. Really? You started without me? You were supposed to be here like an hour ago. Australian doubles. You two against me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You think I need Tommy to beat you? I mean, you did just lose. Oh, so it's like that, huh? I'm, standing right here. So start moving.
Morphin' time! Back to action!
3, 2, 1, fight!
Oh, I thought I was playing Tommy, and I was just confused why it wasn't doing what I wanted it to. It's because I'm not I am playing as Tommy, I'm not playing as Jason. Names are hard. I always get that backwards because I'm so used to playing a Nintendo. So Dragon Zord missiles. I can't do that because I don't have a Dragon Zord right now. So X and A. Okay. Best line from any Power Ranger series. Who do we fight? Anyone not wearing a primary color. That's right. Gray is not allowed. Okay, I surrender. You guys are a tough team. Huh, same time tomorrow? I'll be there. Back into some one-on-one. I mean, I already got my training in for the day. I'm gonna just stay for an extra... You need to make it at least interesting. Okay, how about whoever wins gets to pick the movie? Whoa, hold on a second. Who said I wanted to go see a movie with you? I didn't mean that it's... Tommy, I'm kidding. That said, you have terrible taste in movies. I guess you better bring your A game. Like I have anything but A game.
It's Morphin time!
Hey, Bad Roxy, good to see ya.
You know what they say. Too much big powers.
The face watching in the background. You mean Zordon? Who I learned is interdimensional, apparently. Despite in the movie that he's just a dude in a tube. Get back here, Kimberly. Why is my screen flickering? Oh, I think it's the game. So I was just smiling and watching High Schoolers brawl with A's weapons and superpowers. He's like, ha ha, battle for my amusement. Ay, it's an interdimensional energy spike. It's Rangers, just brace yourself. I am detecting incoming transport from another universe. What? Don't worry, no one can get into the command center without a power coin. Power coins, yes. Zordon's idea of security. They didn't save him in my world. They won't save him in yours. Who are you supposed to be? Oh, Tommy, so naive. I am your destroyer. His voice, Tommy, he sounds just like you. You know what? I take back my question. I don't want to know who you are, why you're here, or how you've got two. I don't even know what to call them. Knockoff Zax? Yeah, we'll go with that. And this is knockoff free zone.
You know what they say. Too much pink power is dangerous.
Look who we have here.
That's right, in the Dark Universe, the cops are just Black Rangers.
Fight! You're not supposed to be here.
This is knockoff free zone, says the Power Rangers, the franchise noted for recycling footage of another series. Okay, first of all, what Saban did was brilliant. Oh, there's the surprise second sour. Ow. Kimberly, attack, please. I love fighting games conceptually, but can never actually manage to get into. This might actually be a good one to try, because it's pretty simple. Black Ranger used gun. It was super effective. Except Kimberly used magic powers. It's even more effective.
Tommy! Whoever you are, get away from him!
It's far too late for that. The crystal feeds on green chaos energy. You feel it? His death is already underway, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
No!
Who are you?
No time! Start firing!
I'm a ranger from another timeline in the future.
No, not yet.
Just part of the time police.
Tommy! Tommy, it's gonna be okay. Please, please just stay with me.
It's okay, Kim. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Tommy, wake up! You have to wake up! He's not breathing. There's no pulse. Help! die. You can't die. Please.
Oh my god, Tommy!
He's gone.
I was too late. I couldn't get back far enough.
Who are you?
My name is Jen Scotts. I'm from the future. I'm here because existence is in danger, and only Power Rangers can save it.
It's a pretty good line. Yeah, this again, the comics are dark. And this is all based on them. Like I said, Kimberly in the Dark Universe is known as the Ranger Hunter.
To all those who will hear these words,
Welcome.
my name is Zordon of Eltar. I come to you from across the grid with a warning. A great threat is upon us. His name is Lord Draken, and his armies are growing. With his newly charged Chaos Crystal, Lord Draken is able to move his forces across time and space. We have found a way to target Rangers. Their Black Dragon cannons are designed to disrupt all connections to the North. However, his true desire is to steal Morphers. With them, he will attempt to conquer existence. In this time of great uncertainty, we must stand together and, if possible, come to each other's aid. Defend your worlds. Protect yourselves and your Morphers at all costs. And may the power protect you
Is that that guy
all.
from The Watchmen? Professor Hydrogen or whatever his name is? Yeah, this story got dark. Well now, looks like there's still one left. I know not who you are, but these lands are under my protection, and you are trespassing. What do you get? And what? Are you gonna fight us off with your stick? I wouldn't expect someone who uses gadgetry as a crutch to understand the power of magic. Cut the chatter, shoulder. Ready, blasters, fire!
With the power of snow,
It's after curfew.
It's got a pointed stick, run away! Quit defending! But I do like this fighting game because, like, again, you don't have to do tricky inputs for most of the things. There's a few here and there, but, like, you know, it's not like you're having to do 2 quarter circles, press and hold this button for exactly 3.5 seconds. You have to admit, though, that picture Zordon did look like Dr. Manhattan a lot. Oh! Grrr, you Rangers have lost. The Mystic Force has fallen. I give you one chance, Udana. Surrender to me now. Turn over your staff, and my lord may show you mercy. Your master should check his wits, Goldar. For if you think I would ever yield to the likes of you, then he's truly relying on a fool.
with the power of snow,
Wait, is this Elsa? Oh, I get to play as Goldar? Honestly, it looks pretty sick in this mostly black armor with the gold accents, rather than his all gold armor. This is Elsa. It's Elsa the Power Ranger. Why did Zordon give her a power coin? This is far from over, Cretin. When I return, more powerful than before, you'll be to claim your wings. Should we go after her, Lord Goldar? Yes, follow her! She may not stray from the forest. In the meantime, I will return to the other Mystic Morphers, to our Lord. He shall be pleased. Yeah, is that a laugh? Is that what that's supposed to be? Gia, Gia, Gia? Did you see what happened to your friends? A couple blasts from the... Oh, it's named Gia, Gia, Gia. Did you see what happened to your friends? A couple blasts from the dragon cannons and their powers were gone, warped away. So please, tell me, why would you even try? The fact that you even have to ask tells me everything. You should be wearing that suit.
We'll never give up without a fight.
Pirate Ranger!
Look who we have here.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Ow. Gia pet. Ow. Unfair, you get to have assists, I don't. Although I do have a Megazord here, apparently. And that's what Megazords do. Yeah, Pirate Ranger is pretty sweet. I don't know what the other Rangers look like. Hey, Ranger Slayer. Enough. I'll handle this one myself. Your Eminence, Ranger Slayer, of course. Oh, Ranger Slayer. Who are you supposed to be? I'm pretty sure the name says it all.
Of course, my lord. I will do all that is necessary.
We'll never give up without
Hey,
a
Shadow
fight.
Vision. Good to see ya.
3, 2, 1, fight!
If I was Ranger, I met someone named Ranger Slayer, I would get most of the deal right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't need a business card. She's got it figured out. But honestly, the Ranger Slayer design is so great. Like the sleeve armor. Ow. The pink and black, the tattered cape, like it all works. Ow. She is kind of kicking my trash here. There we go. Lord Drakon has a special place for people like her. Return to our world at once. I still have others to deal with. You heard her. Let's get this one on the moon prison before... Sorry, that's not going to happen. I've got strict orders to rescue some rangers, and I will absolutely go through you to do it. So, what's it going to be? Take her down! It's the
SPD,
Fuzz!
Cat Ranger.
The Fuzz are fighting the Fuzz!
Curfew.
I think Banks is from Lightspeed Rescue SPD. LOL Rangers. Ow. Ken has morphin time. I just want to create some space. Ow! No, Goldar stepped right on top of me. Also, I like that the Megazord is a nice catch-up mechanic, because you fill up your bar more when you're damaged than when you're doing damage. Gotta stop letting people step all over you. Yeah, I know. Hey there, can you hear me? Oh, an SPD Ranger. That's impressive, considering we've never met. Don't worry. You're okay now. I'm going to get you somewhere safe. An Orange Ranger. How interesting. I don't have one of you yet. You have more Rangers than you can handle. Well, difference of opinion, I suppose. Regardless, you were a fool to come here. You'll regret it.
Bow before your lord.
No.
SPD, Cat Ranger.
Oh, I get to play as Lord Drakon. Ow. Incoming Megazord. Oh, I think I canceled it, actually. Come in, SPD. I need to get out of here now. Locked on and transporting now. Intriguing. My lord? It appears I have a visitor. Take the yellow one away. No more delays. Magna Defender. Enjoying the view. I'll enjoy it more when you're beneath my heel. Bold words. Even bolder. Breaking into my throne room, I can't think of many who would dare to attempt such a thing. My brother and his rangers were attacked, their morphers captured, and their bodies taken to this realm. I'm here to punish the one responsible. You found him.
You have no idea what I'm fighting for.
We're just, like, bringing all the rangers in, just establishing this fight.
Bow before your lord.
Okay, the broken weapons in the background as trophies is pretty awesome. Oh, Bullman is very slow, as you might expect from a bull. It's very strange switching to him after having been so many other whippy characters. There's one thing bulls are, well, when they can be. It's not necessarily slow, it's more like it's hard to steer. Not bad at all. You're holding back. Perceptive, too. You could make an interesting addition to my collection. Commander, I like this one's spirits. When you're done with him, let's keep him alive. I have other matters to attend to. With pleasure, Your Eminence.
Yes, my lord.
You have no idea what I'm fighting for.
That voice does not match the armor.
Fight!
Hey, Britt. Good to see ya. Missed on that super. Yeah, we already talked about the Feast of John the Baptist. the beheading of John the Baptist's martyrdom, and how he prefigures Christ in so many ways, including death, in order to help witness to the resurrection ultimately. Ow. Yes, sir. Oh, we got the OG Power Rangers. Okay, so this is crazy. This is crazy lore. So the first Power Rangers were in fact an ancient alien species that came to Earth to fight Rita. And they in fact were asleep. And in like one of the timelines, they like come back instead of being the teenagers. It's wild. Trying a lot of things that work. That's all good. Yeah, Rita was. That's right. Rita was once a ranger along with Zordon. Oh, you are not native to this world, but you are also not of my kind. How is it that you share the same connection to the grid? Curious. We aren't here for intellectual conversations. But of course, I'm here to defend this planet's primitive life from external threats such as yourself. You will not prevail here.
No idea the power I possess.
Look who we have here.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Ow, ow, ow. Burkadoo. Why are limits on how many times you can receive the Eucharist if receiving grace is good? Because how many times can you really receive infinite in one day might be one way to put it, but in another, it's actually a safeguard to prevent scrupulosity, because there were people who would go from one church to another, to another, to another, just endlessly receive communion. And at a certain point, you have to say, okay, communion, receiving the Eucharist is good and wonderful, but if it's not transforming your heart to go out into the world, then you're not paying attention properly to what it's doing. So that's why the church is kind of like, hey, focus on when you do receive, so that, you know, it's not about trying to keep anyone from anything, but kind of saying, like, look, there's only so much infinite you can take in a single day. Huh, good news. It's a good news, bad news situation. Good news, there's no more sentries coming for you. Bad news, I'm here. Again, this world has no developed life forms capable of intelligent communication, much less accessing the grid. What are you? Efficient.
Of course, my lord. I will do all that is necessary.
You have no idea.
Primitive Rangers kind of look like the new movie Rangers. Yeah, actually, it does. I didn't hate that movie. It wasn't amazing by any means, but I thought the Zords were a little weird because they tried to make him more alien-like, and it's like, that feels unnecessary. Rita's great in that movie, though. She is, like, super dark. Time to lurk so you can send 22 individual emails? Oh, boy. I'm sorry. Hey, leave him alone. Kimberly Hart. I wonder when we'd cross paths. Let me guess. Alternate timeline me, loyal to Lord Drakon? How original. He gave you that fancy boat, didn't he? I'd tell you to run back to Zordon. but you wouldn't.
You know what they say, too much pink power is dangerous. Of course, my lord. I will do all that is necessary.
We're pretty evenly matched when you consider that we're literally just colored out swaps of each other. Literally their moveset's like the same.
My Eminence, are you all right?
Fine. I'm fine.
There is a Chun-Li character
Then maybe
in the
we
game.
should go another round.
She's DLC.
I promise. I'll make a stronger impression.
You have nerve, Ranger. But when our Eminence is finished with you, it'll be a distant memory.
We already have what he requires. Secure the prisoner. We return home. Now.
You okay?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just fought myself?
We have a situation. The domed city of Corinth, home of the RPM Rangers. The Rangers' leader, Dr. K, has found a way to neutralize the dragon cannons.
What? Jen, if we could stop their cannons, the Sentries wouldn't be able to warp our powers. This is huge.
Yes, but the city's under siege.
I think the
The
RPM
Space Patrol
Rangers
Delta Rangers and the RPM Rangers
are
doing
the
their
ones who
best
ride
to hold
motorcycles?
off Draken's forces, but there's a 10-mile no teleportation zone. We can't get Dr. K or her tech out. And ever since Zordon sent out his message, I've been getting energy pings from Rangers in other eras, survivors of Draken's attacks.
Jason, I know Corinth is important, but if there are Ranger survivors out there...
All right, here's what we're gonna do. Lauren and I will head to Corinth and work on getting Dr. K to safety. Jen, you and Kim pick up whatever Rangers you can. Make sure you take Trini. She's been working on some new armor upgrades that may come in handy. Everyone stay in touch, and we'll rendezvous back at the command center.
Got it.
Oh yeah, Trini is just has beefy armor. This place is beautiful. Yeah, something tells me Drakon is much of a step back and appreciate the force kind of guy. The distress signal came from somewhere around here. I don't see anyone. Oh, what do we have? Leftovers? They look different from those caped ones we took down. Doesn't matter. They have morphers, don't they? Take them down.
Time for Time Force.
It's after curfew.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Look at my friend and her giant armor. We will take you out. It is a wild set of art. It has a tail, if you noticed. How do I swap? I legitimately do not remember how you swap characters. That's assist. Oh, it's okay. You just do an assist and then you do. Ow. It's got laser beams, it's got a tail, it's got a horn. Trini is just feeling so extra. Yeah, the combos or the assists are really cool. Yeah, Trini knows how to accessorize. I do like that there are certain attacks that also force you to swap. Like, especially in multiplayer, that's such a cool concept. Because it's Multiplayer is 3v3. I officially really don't like these guys. Grr, more rangers, wonderful. Lord Drakon will have your morphers, and I will have your heads. Huh. Bizarro World Goldar is somehow even more evil than our guy. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom has a similar swap method, I think. I always wanted to get into Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but just, that is a dense game. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, but... I play Zero because I am basic. Zero is awesome. Zero is one of my favorite of all the robots. Ouch. That was a nice counter grab that he did. Now, do you like X-Zero or do you like 0-0? Oh, you have not seen the last of me, Rangers. You enjoy both? Yeah. Yeah, he is like our Goldar. The energy signal is coming from just over there. So the cretin has sent more servants to do his bidding.
The power of snow.
No, we're gonna beat you into submission to prove that we're good guys.
Okay.
Zero X is an interesting character study. What am I fighting for? And cooler character design. See, I prefer the character design of 0-0. I prefer the sleeker look. But I do love still just the original Zero nonetheless. Like, he is still really cool in both design and character. I think 0-0 is not really a good character study, but he's a really good world study. I think they do some really interesting stuff with the... That's actually on the list for things I'm going to play on Retro Thursday at some point, is the Zero series. Ow. Listen to me, we're not here to hurt you. We want to stop Drakon. There she is, and look, she's made some friends. Is that the Black Dragon armor? Oh, Trini said something, but skipped through it apparently. You bought the Zero collection on Steam because of nostalgia? Yeah, that's why I bought it on Switch. Fire up the dragon cannons. Lord Drakon will praise us for returning it to him.
The power of snow.
Yes, my lord.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Meep. No, Meep, you've joined the wrong side. You're helping Lord Drakon.
Eyes on target.
You gotta go through me.
I will yeet you.
You're under arrest.
Ow. Stupid swap strike abilities. I don't think Meep joined his side. He's just vibing. I mean, that is Meep. I just redeemed another Meep form today, actually, on Junie's channel. I asked if he could have, like, a Chasuble that's kind of, like, dragging under his feet. Like a kid wearing grown-up clothes that are too big for him. Meep did well in the fight. No loss of health. No loss of brain cells either, but then again, there were none to begin with. There he is. He's coming up. He's like, oh, what happened? Oh, look at that. So, you speak the truth. You are not aligned with Cretin or his master. That's what we're trying to tell you. We're the good guys. I mean, gals. Jen, Kim, come in. Change of plans. Corinth is taking a turn. Grab whoever you've got and get over here. No thought, only Meep. We're on our way.
The process will not be easy, nor will it be pleasant.
Yes, I've heard your warnings, Finster 5. But the risk is worth the reward.
My lord, if I may, I look around and I see but a handful of the morphers we brought back for you.
Ah, yes. Well, you see, each ranger team accesses the Morphin Grid in a slightly different way. For our purposes, we will only require one morpher per team. In fact, utilizing any more will become incredibly unstable.
That would have been good to know before my forces risk their lives targeting entire teams.
Enough! Fewer morphers means fewer rangers to oppose us. I'm ready, Finster 5. Take me one step closer to my destiny.
Yes, my lord.
So, Finster, by the way, is he's the dude.
Remarkable. I can feel the strength coursing through me.
Glorious.
Finster is the dude who, like, makes the monsters for
How
Rita.
long until the
And
next
Alpha 5
transfer?
is the assistant to
A day
Zordon.
at most.
This is an amalgamation.
In the meantime,
An abomination.
There is a situation in Corinth that requires your attention, my lord. The dragon cannons are on the verge of being compromised.
Then perhaps it's time for more specific reinforcements. Keep targeting ranger teams. Return with all the morphers you can. Our future depends on it.
Of course, my lord. I will do all that is required. You have my word.
SPD, Cat Ranger.
It's after curfew.
Oh, you can. Oh, check out Goldar fighting the Megazord in the background. That is so sick. That is how you do a background. Oh man, I can't pay attention to the fight. I'm too busy watching that. Ow, I thought I jumped over it.
Eyes on target.
Wait, if Goldar's in the background there, then how is Goldar going to step on me here? That's cheating, Goldar.
Time for action.
Ow, ow, ow. Magic. Spare Goldar leg for just such an occasion. He just eats a leg.
Pick on someone your own side.
my mark.
Uh-oh. Ow. That really hurt. Okay, I need to figure out how to summon the Zord. Is it an ultra attack? Yeah, it's an ultra attack. Thank you, Megazord! So what exactly is our game plan here? It's simple. Dr. K knows how to counteract the Dragon Canyons. We've got to get her outside the no teleportation zone and back to our dimension, so she can shore up any other Ranger teams that are still out there. Meep. Grr, if it isn't sure that easy, Red Ranger. I have eyes on Dr. K, but I'm going to need some cover. I'll take the overgrown ape, Jason. You cover Commander Kruger.
SPD, Cat Ranger.
Meep has joined the correct side for once. Wait, if that's Goldar in the background, then which Goldar is this? And how is Goldar summoning giant legs of Goldar? Ow, that throw hurts. Makes sense the big heavy guy can do a big heavy throw, I guess. Goldarception. It's all Goldar? It always has been. Are you saying Meep is Goldar? Is that the solution? Meep is eavesdropping. Aha! He's my spy! Get back in your corner, Goldar. He has so much health. Yeah, he does. I think he had 3 health bars. Help me, Megazord. You're my only hope. Dr. K, I understand you want to protect Corinth, but it's not up for debate, Commander Kruger. We stay and we fight until we break this tyrant's forces and send them running. Dr. K, please, we need to get you out of here and regroup. Shore up the other Rangers' power so we can stand a chance. And I suggest you fight harder. I'm not abandoning Corinth. Okay.
Look who we have here.
3, 2,
If I have one complaint of this story mode, it is that the Mastodon soldiers show up a lot, which makes sense in a story way, but as a fighting game, it's kind of like, oh, I'm fighting them again. Dr. K doesn't mess around.
Supposed to be.
Why was Commander Kruger talking to me, but then it's like, no, I can't join this fight. I am getting my butt kicked here. And I can't let them switch, because if he switches, he'll regain that blue health. Okay, he's down. So she won't listen to reason about Corinth. Is she waiting in a pistol to correct her ways? I think she's just waiting for a fight.
Tyrannosaurus!
Ah, finally we meet again, Jason. When you died on my world, it wasn't by my hand. I look forward to changing that. Funny. In my world, I beat you all the time. So this is just another weekday to me. Ouch. Savage.
SPD, Cat Ranger.
And she's here too.
No match for me. 3, 2, 1, fight!
Paul's Lost Letter to Corinthians, do not abandon brethren in other dimensions, but stand together, lest all be lost. Yeah, turns out it was surprisingly simple and short. That's why it got lost. And they were like, what's a dimension? What is my ultra move? Ah. A and B. Okay.
Cat Stunners.
Oh, she's Jubilee.
All right, guys, you got this.
Drakon. Who's that with him? More sentries? No, look, they're weapons. I've seen something like this before. He's got them under his spell. Bottom line, they're not on our side. You know what to do. Uh-oh. Who am I fighting?
You have no idea the power I possess.
Oh, no! Oh, it's those three! Gosh, I sure wish Captain Kruger would help us fight. Dear Strongbat, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Ow, 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 ow. I was busy looking at the chat at the funnies, and I'm getting my teeth kicked in.
Cat Ranger. Cat Stunners.
I want to play as her again. I love her moveset. I love her whip sword.
Yellow Ranger power up.
Ow. You swap strike me at? You swap strike me at in the middle of fight? Jail for mother. Jail for mother for 1,000 years. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. That was a huge combo.
Cat stunners.
Okay, that's one down. That was a massive juggle. I want to learn how to do that.
Tyrannosaurus.
Actually, know a sculptor who has made all the various morphers and ranged helmets. Here are all of them. Oh, shoot. That's bad. Okay, that's the Blue Ranger down. I just have to take out the big guy. But he's at full health, unfortunately, and I have no assists. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh, that's no good. That's no good. No, 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 Goldar. That's okay. You don't have to come here today. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, this is close. Yes! Oh, look how little health I had left. Think Yellow Pyros suffer? Yeah. Hey, how about we even the odds? Thank you!
You and your weapons are no match for me.
This game does, even with all the DLC, this game only has like 20 characters. That's probably the biggest criticism I've seen of it online. It's a small roster. But I do at least appreciate it because it keeps it tight, it keeps it focused. God, this is a Humble Bundle or a Humble Monthly. I could see that. It's very good. It is very solid, and I do highly recommend it if you're looking for a fresh fighter. Because it really eschews like the fancy combo systems for a much more streamlined one, but it really does allow for some really nice depth. How many times do you have to beat you Goldar before you learn? Well, based on the TV show, quite a bit. Oh, I actually wanted to switch to the heart person.
To work together. Hold it right there.
Time magic! He just did a Hadoken. Ow, ow, ow. He's really good at the juggle.
Release the power.
How many times do we have to tell you, old man? Trini is also deceptively quick. Like, she walks very slowly, but her lunge goes a good distance. That was even saying the computer even paused to get your hitbox. In juggle sequence. Juggleception.
Are you up to the task?
Whoa, 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 whoa. 40, 41, 42, 47? 47 combo? That's nuts. Ow.
Release the power.
I do like that when you're doing assists, like, when they're on the field, they're in danger of attack. So there is actually a decent risk reward with it. And a good way to counter your opponents because you can take out their teammates when they call on them.
You have been warned.
Okay, Elsa's down, but Pink is regaining her health, which I don't like. I wish I knew how to do a swap strike. Ow, ow, ow.
Have been warned.
Nah, I just missed. That's a shame. Ow, I meant to swap there. I forgot you had to press it twice.
I am here.
Let's take it up a notch.
Release the power.
Die!
Megazord, ready.
We will do this together.
Oh, interesting. I'm trying to activate my Megazord, and if one Megazord is active, you can't activate the other. Is that Tron Ranger Man? May as well. I mean, they're all on the grid, right? We're taking serious hits here, and Dracon's bringing more reinforcements. We've got to pull back. Dr. K, please, I know you don't want to leave Corinth, but for the good of the universe, we need to teleport out of here. What's blocking us? How do we do it? We have to tear down the dome. Dome. Commander Kruger, on it. Space Patrol Delta. Target that dome.
Hold on, guys! We're getting out of here! No!
Hey, welcome to the Command Center, Real Rangers. My name is Alpha 5, and this is Zordon. Greetings, Rangers. Well, it's certainly a unique-looking place. Everyone take a minute and catch their breath. And don't worry, you're all safe here. We've taken extra biosecurity precautions. Draken can't get back in here. He doesn't want to. What? How did she get in? Because she's you?
I will do all that
She
as
matches you for all the bio protection stuff?
Powers dangerous.
Fight!
Hey, Kimberly, there's been a misunderstanding. The Ranger Slayer isn't here to hurt us. What? It's true. If anything, I should be thanking you. When you damaged my bow, you broke the spell Lord Dragon had over me. I'm of my own mind again, for the first time in a long time. Oh. She is. She's having a moment of healing.
Fight!
Oh, this is a flashback. You can tell because of the border around everything. Oh, look, Lord Zed's staff is on the throne there. That's a cool little detail. The people who made this game are complete nerds, and they know it. And they know what they were doing. Ow. I was trying to grab you. Ow. Ooh. Okay, I need to lock in. Yeah, and the sepia tone filter. The Instagrammable filter. No fair, that's what I tried doing to you. Ow. This is not looking great, team. If I can take this guy out, I think I can get it, because then except getting the assists on me. Oh, but I am almost gone. I have, like, no hit points left. This is a problem. Magic Pixel! Magic Pixel! My lord, the pink one, what is she doing here? Kimberly broke through our defenses, Goldar. She has come here looking to kill me. She failed. But she might still be of use, assuming she can prove herself. Oh, I'll prove myself. Give me one clear shot at you and this whole thing will end. Kimberly, such attitude. But at this moment, I am not your enemy. They are.
You know what they say. Too much pink power is dangerous.
You and your weapons are no match for me.
I want to finish this chapter before we wrap up for the day, because it's right there. I have to fight Goldar with 3 health bars, and he has a Mastodon soldier. This is cheating. How dare evil cheat? Ow. Okay, Goldar's on his last health bar. That's good. Ow! And I've only lost 1. So in a 3-4 battle, it's now 2-2. Remember, kids, life is a resource. Winning on a Magic Pixels... Well, actually, it's cooler than winning at full health, but... The only HP that matters is the last one. Just look at the last fight. Yeah, that last fight got a little harrowing. I don't know how I got through it, but we did. Ah, MTG rules. Yeah. I don't have all those cards behind me for nothing. You passed the first test. Good. So, how about that shot? So you get killed by your Phyrexian Arena or the One Ring. No, that's a way to go out with
You know
honor.
what they say. Too much pink power is dangerous.
Now I'm supposed to lose. Well, Kimberly's supposed to lose this fight. Oh, good counter. You play Simic and Magic, but the right way, by hitting the face. It's the weirdest... Oh, so you play Simic like the Simic Combine, just make big things.
Have been warned.
You're basically mono green Stompy with a bit of blue for flair. And I respect that. I play Grixis because I like to determine how the fun of the game goes.
You have been warned. Mine.
Also Merfolk. Fair. Well done, Kimberly. Very well done. I could certainly use a warrior such as yourself. I could use a Ranger Slayer. What's happening to me? I am yours, command, my lord. But now I'm going to stop him. We all are, before it's too late. Too late? What exactly is he trying to do? Lord Dracon's amassing power, so he can access the heart of the Morphin Grid itself. Is that even possible? In theory, yes. However, no being has ever achieved such a thing. which seems Morphers connect to the grid in a slightly different way. By adding more to his power set, he's increasing his resonance with the grid. That's only part of the problem. He has a tower out on our old universe's command center remains. It's constantly transmitting across the grid, weakening barriers between dimensions and worlds. It allows Drakon to split the powers of his extra Morphers to his armies. If we tear it down, they'll be powerless. So we need to mount a campaign, a final assault on the tower, for the fate of existence. Oh, you'll notice this, since Tommy died, Jason took on the gold armor and the dagger that's the flute. It's a nice little storytelling touch. And you know, that sounds great and all, for stopping the armies, but what about Drakon? How do we actually stop him? For that, I believe we need to think outside the box.
Well, well, well. The great and powerful sage of Eltar, now in hologram form and seeking my counsel. How the times have changed, Zordon.
Indeed, they have.
Trust me, witch. This isn't our first choice.
Yes! Do turn your snout up at me.
All right, see ya, Beer Fox.
A most wise decision, doggy. Finster! What do we have in the way of collars? Maybe a nice choker will help the commander remember his place.
Go ahead and try it. Please.
That's enough, Rita. We come before you today because the current threat affects us all. Lord Drakon...
Yes, I know. He's moving through dimensions, conquering rangers. I have to admit, we've had so much fun watching you all scurry about.
His methods continue to put a massive strain on the grid, and his actions place all of existence at risk.
And here I held such high hopes for this conversation. If you think I'm scared of a Power Ranger, much less a Power Ranger ending reality, you're even more foolish than I've thought for the last 10,000 years!
Lord Draken's powers are still rooted in your magic, or at least, the magic of his Rita Repulsa.
What does that mean?
It means in his world, he killed you. Or did you not know that?
We have known each other for many years, Rita. I would not be here now if I believed there was another way. For the fate of reality, we need you to do what no one else has been able to accomplish. Rita, we need you to save us all.
Well, that's a fun plot twist. And I think that's a great place to call it for the day. So thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be back with y'all today to do more of this fun stuff with the Power Hour. I think next week we're going to change gears, though. I don't remember what I have on the schedule. So we'll have to find out together. But come back next Thursday for more retro stuff. It'll be fun. But join us again on Tuesday for no stream on Monday because Labor Day. Enjoy the day off. I certainly am. Go out. Dutch grass. It's the end of summer. Tuesday, more 5 if I can get it working. If not, Forest Quartet. Midweek Minecraft. And then Retro Thursday. Again, I don't know. And then the week after that, RPG Monday will be back. And also next week, the streams start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that'll be the normal time going forward. And I think that's everything. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, great weekend, great 3-day, maybe even 4-day weekend if you're lucky. And then, yeah, I hope you just have a good time. So thanks so much for tuning in, for subscribing, liking, following, cheering, sharing, all that good jazz. But good to see you. I'll see you, Tony. And why don't we see who's live to raid? Health is a resource in all things. Yes, and in our life, in real life, you have to manage it and take care of it and help build it up. So do that. Touch grass. Anyway, we're going to go on over to Faithy Lou. She's a friend of the Goth Circle. She asked that you say "but" in her chat to let her know that you've read the chat rules. So do that, and also just the good old-fashioned father raid. So yeah, give her some love, spam that meat morp, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Take care, and God bless.